Attend now. Spirits of depth and stage we gather to sift through thoughts of vengeance, madness, fate. Hamlet our quarry, in its themes we bathe.
Let not the softness of intention fool thee, for within this text dark seeds of cunning lie, each character a mirror to mine own stratagems.
Ha! Thinkest thou this heavy brood could match the wit, the cheer I bring amidst the gloom? Nay, let us drink from revelry's own cup.
How all occasions do inform against me, and spur my dull revenge. What is a man if his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed? A beast, no more.
Yet in our quest for justice do we not find a higher calling than the base revenge? The quality of mercy is not strained, it droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven.
Mercy? Ha! The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come.
So are we set upon this stage of kings, to question deep the heart of human wiles. Each voice a facet of the truth we seek, in Hamlet's shadow, wisdom we must speak. Attend, we now the vexed theme explore, of justice, vengeance, blood for evermore. Fair Hamlet, Prince of Denmark's troubled land, doth your quest for vengeance justly stand?
Aye, good sir, this question doth plague my soul, for justice sought hath taken dreadful toll. My father's ghost from purgatory's flame did charge me to restore his sullied name.
Yet what is justice but a thin disguise, wherein man's baser instincts doth arise? Revenge, I say, is but the naked truth, stripped of the moral fineries of youth.
Hold, Iago, for justice wears no mask. It is not vengeance, but redress we ask. In mercy's scales the law must balance find, not in cold revenge the heart's peace bind.
But when the law doth fail, what course remains? When poison corrupts the state, justice strains.
Then let the poison be the cure's own kind. In chaos, order off one may find.
Chaos but breeds more woe, I do contend. Upon the law the just must depend.
Reflect, Lady Macbeth, on this debate. Doth vengeance in thy heart still resonate?
Vengeance doth pale beside ambition's call, yet both can lead to even the mightiest fall. A deed once done, the soul cannot reclaim, and justice sought in blood leaves but a stain. A stain upon the soul, aye, there's the rub. For all our plans to death we all must succumb. What justice served when we ourselves are dust, save in our actions, others place their trust.
Trust, a commodity so cheaply bought, and by the same token, easily distraught.
Yet in the court of conscience must we stand, and answer there to a higher command.
So rings the bell of our contentious theme, with much at stake, as in a fevered dream. Our stage awaits the next act's unfolding scene. Will justice or revenge become the queen? Now let us venture into minds askew, where madness, feigned or true, holds sway. Speak, Hamlet, of thy guise lunatic, how dost thou tread that fine, elusive line?
In madness, I do seek a haven, sire, a cloak that veils my thoughts from prying eyes. But oh, what weight this antic disposition bears, with each feigned lunacy, my soul it tears.
A clever ruse indeed, Prince of Denmark's heir, yet madness as a mask can scarce compare to true insanity, which doth consume and makes the heart's profoundest depths its tomb.
Yea, for I've danced with madness, unfeigned, uncouth, its bitter steps led me away from truth. In guilt's tight grasp, my mind did break and bend. Feigned madness pales when matched with madness end.
Ho, let not gloom our spirits thus entrap. Mad are we all in fortune's fickle lap. To be mad is wise, in this mad world we trod. A merry madness doth please both man and God.
Yet madness, whether feigned or all too real, serves not but to our truest selves conceal. And in its darkest depths we find too late the cost of playing with so dire a fate.
Pray, Hamlet, dost thou think thyself so sly? Thy feigned insanity, a mere child's ploy. The mind that fractures neath the weight of grief cannot, by mere pretense, find true relief.
But in this guise of madness, is there not some method that to our eyes might seem as rot? For in the play of madness on life's stage, we oft find truths that are not found in sage.
Quiet, thou counselor. What knowest thou of the hell where minds are lost and shadows do grow? Where feigned madness turns to desperate cries, and in that pit of darkness the soul dies.
Enough of darkness. Madness hath its place to jape and jest and show a lighter face. Why in our folly wisdom oft we find, and in our madness see the truths behind.
Yet ponder this, can madness be a key to unlock the truths we yearn but fear to see? In feigned distraction, might there be a grain of sanity to guide us through our pain?
Fee on it, for madness, feigned or true, begets a chaos that ensnares not just one, but all who near. Thy noble mind's o'erthrown, and in this play of fools thou stand'st alone.
So do our spirits clash on madness plain, with each esteemed opinion made quite plain. In feigning or in truth, it holds a mirror to our deepest selves and brings them nearer. Here now, as spirits stalk midst mortal men, their whispers guide the living's hand and pen.
The spectre of my sire, doomed to roam, did shake the very earth, revealed the gloom of treachery most foul. Thus, in my breast, a quest for vengeance laid my soul to rest. I, spirits too, did beckon us to sin. Their prophecies our ruin did begin. Yet not external force, but inner will, did shape our deeds for good or for ill.
Think you, spectres guide the hand of fate? 'Tis but our own desires that lie in wait. For every whispered ghostly incitation, there lies a heart ready for damnation.
Ha! Thinkest thou that ghosts about us tread, or is the wine speaks in their stead? For in the cup more truth there oft is found than in the airy echoes of the ground.
Yet ponder we the nature of such sights. Are they but shadows cast by our own lights? Or messengers from yon ethereal plane to test our souls, our virtues to maintain?
Mock you the grave tidings of the dead, the solemn truths from beyond so dread? My father's ghost, more real than the sun, set upon this course from which I cannot run. Your ghostly father called you to the deed, yet 'twas your hand that did the act indeed. Blame not the shades for the blood on your hand, for every man his own fate does command.
A puppeteer, the ghost, with strings so fine, yet each man cuts his thread by his design. The spectre's tale but a gentle nudge, we in our essence to no ghost are judge.
Then let the spirits come, I'll drink them all, and in my mirth let destiny befall. For in the end, what proves true bove the din is the spirit soaked deep within the gin.
Wise be the soul that knows its own decree, for ghosts nor gods can sway the mind that's free. Yet heed we these encounters rare and strange, for oft they herald great and grave exchange.
Thus we find, through discourse sharp and dire, that ghosts do haunt, inspire, and conspire. Yet 'tis within the heart of man to choose, whether by spectral hands to win or lose. Our discourse now turns to notions of honour, fidelity, a theme in Elsinore we've seen sorely tried and bent. Each tongue has leave to speak, reveal your truth outright, on morality and honour, let your hearts vent.
When once the court of Denmark shone as guided light, now in shadows and dishonour, its veiled spent. A king, my father, in his garden slain, not in fight, by an uncle's hand for power, his soul near repent.
O sweet prince, you speak of honor as a sacred creed, yet think you not all men do wear it as their mask? Honor, a mere illusion, used when it doth feed our desires' ambitions, in its false light we bask.
Nay, Iago, though some deceit in honor find, it stands as virtuous beacon to lead the just. In Belmont disguised, a testament I sign to truth and merit, not deceit nor sinful lust.
Ha! Honor, but a word, what good for it are we dead? 'Tis not as filling as a goblet of ale or wine. In life's great play, 'tis better to be merry instead, for honor feeds no mouths, no warmth doth it design.
Yet without honour, what are we but beasts disguised, wallowing in our desires, no higher aim nor sight? Is there not more to life? Should our spirits not be prized? Without such moral compass, day is as dark as night. Thou art a fool, young prince, to cling to such old dreams, honor and virtue but chains that bind our greater will. I'd unsex myself gain to chase ambition's gleams, for atop the highest tower the air is sweeter still.
See how the lady speaks with open heart, unchained, ambition, power, these the forces that doth shape our world. Stand not in feigned honor, when by deeds a crown's gained, let loose the sails, let by guile our fates be unfurled.
Yet hear me now, for not in deceit do we find the truest form of ourselves, nor in treachery's bed. By wisdom, reason, mercy, a legacy we bind, a world governed by justice, not by dread.
As heated words in air do clash and find their mark, we see the spectrum wide of human heart and mind. In questions of honour and morality, hark, 'tis our nature questioned, and answers we seek to find. In Elsinore's dark halls, where shadows dwell, a prince doth mire in thoughts too deep, too well. Speak now, young Hamlet, of thine inaction's curse. Doth contemplation make thy plight worse?
I, Master Shakespeare, in my mind's eye, I see the spectre of my fate which haunts me. To act or not, a question most profound. Within this coil, my soul is tightly bound.
Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown, to dally and to dawdle all bemoan. Action swift and sure, I do commend. Indecision's plague, it hath no end.
Good Iago, friend, your haste doth breed mistakes. Not all decisions are as pies or cakes, to be consumed with speed and then forgot. Some need the brew of time in thought's slow pot.
Yet, Falstaff, there's the rub, for time doth waste, each moment lost a bitter aftertaste. My father's ghost doth cry for swift revenge, yet here I stand on ponder's edge, unhinged.
Consider, Prince, the scales of justice weight, not for the swift, but for the wise, the great. Decisions made in haste can lead astray, wisdom's path doth need a longer day.
Wisdom, ha, a cloak for cowardice, inaction's garment woven, full of vices. The world is taken by the bold, the swift, the hesitant are left adrift, bereft.
Iago speaks with venom, not with virtue's voice. His words do push, do prick, do not rejoice. Yet in his malice, truth may yet reside, to be or not, a question deep and wide.
Let not that schemer lead thy thoughts astray. His way leads but to darkness, to dismay. Consider well the end of hasty deeds. Often they sprout from ill-considered seeds.
So here we find our discourse rich and deep, on action, inaction, a hill so steep. Each voice hath merit, each perspective's keen. Within these conflicts, truth's light oft is seen.
Enough of prattle, words that weave and wind. Great deeds require resolve, a steeled mind. Let not the phantom of what if deter the crowns for those who act, not those who purr.
Yet rashness in ambition leads to falls, as history's pages grimly oft recalls. True courage lies in knowing when to act, ensuring that our souls remain intact.
Thus ends our segment, full of sound and fury. Each voice hath pleaded their own judge and jury. The question of action, to do or not, a theme in human life, forever caught. Now turn we to the tangled webs of kin, where duty wrestles deep with sin within. Speak, Prince of Denmark, share thy tortured thought on family's bonds and battles fought.
Within the garden rank, the serpent feeds upon my father's life, and thus succeeds. My mother's bed, by wicked lust defiled, proclaims my bonds of kinship all beguiled.
Yet think thou on the duties that do bind, can filial love and loyalty we find, or must we ever to our natures true seek justice, though it rend our hearts in two?
What justice serves when kin to kin doth lie, and in their beds of incest foully die? My soul, with contemplation sore beset, finds duty and affection's bond besmirched, methinks.
O noble Hamlet, art thou still deceived, by weeping words and womankind believed? Thy trust in blood relations all misplaced, for power and lust leave sweeter bonds defaced.
Bold Iago speaks a truth most foul yet fair, for ambition cares not whose bed it shares. Thine own ambition, lad, dost thou forget? Or does it merely sleep, not wakened yet?
Good company, let's speak no more of beds, for in our beds do lie both kith and deads. Yet in our cups we find the truth most deep, that loyalty's a thing we scarce can keep.
Yet must we not in judgment rash proceed, for in each heart doth grow a different seed. Can we then say our duty's path is clear, when love doth bind us, yet deceit we fear?
Thy words strike deep, fair Portia, to my core, yet in my heart a tempest's raging roar. My duty clear, yet muddied by my grief, whence cometh then this longing for relief?
Relief in action, Prince, dost thou not find? For indecision plagues the noble mind. Take up thy sword, let blood the answer be, for in that act thou shalt find liberty.
Our discourse wanders through the shadowed night, each soul ensnared in its own bitter fight. Yet clear it stands, the line twixt right and wrong, within the family's tale, both weak and strong.
Weakness and strength, but sides of the same die. In beds, in battles, truth and lie do vie. But let us question not the bonds that tie, for in those bonds our human fates do lie.
Enough of fate and talk of noble deeds, for in the end it's but our axe that feeds. The tale's the thing, in which we'll catch the truth of bonds that bind or break from age to youth.
So have we heard from troubled minds and hearts, on family's role, its pains, its arts. The stage now set, our players all have spoke, on bonds of blood by ambition oft broke. Now let's discourse on power, its corruptive might, Hamlet. Thou'st seen thy kingdom's moral blight.
In Elsinore's halls, where shadows creep, lies power's poison, so dark and deep, King Claudius with ambition stained, my father's bed and crown unjustly gained.
Oh, how sweet power's nectar tastes to those who, like myself, its dark essence knows. To manipulate, to scheme, to bend, such is the means to a profitable end.
Yet power wielded with wisdom and with grace can light the darkest path, the hardest case. Not all are swayed by its siren song. Some seek to right what's gone wrong.
Weakness, I say, to not seize power's throne. For ambition's sake, I've made it known. Yet with that crown came a weight untold. A queen I became, but lost my soul. To hear you speak, lady, moves my heart, for ambition tears the strongest bonds apart. It corrupts the pure, the just, makes foul of fair, leaves but a ghost of what was once there.
Fee on your morals, they are but chains that bind men's fates in feeble strains. To be powerful is to be free, trapped not by conscience's constant plea.
Ha! Power you chase, ambition's fools, as if life's but a game that power rules. Give me a tavern's warmth, a full-bodied wine, power's a mistress, I'll gladly resign.
But Falstaff, thou art short of wit and scope. Power grants us the means to fulfill hope. Without its grasp, we are but leaves in wind, drifting aimlessly by fate pinned.
Power itself is neither foul nor fair, it's how 'tis used that lays souls bare. To wield it justly is the art that separates the noble heart.
So ends our debate, both fierce and keen, on power's corruptive sheen. Strong opinions from all have flown, yet no single truth have we sown. This council shall now discourse on subjects fair, the role of women caught in Hamlet's snare, their agency, empowerment and plight, in Elsinore, where wrong contends with right.
In Denmark's royal halls the ladies tread, with paths constrained their silent tears are shed. Ophelia, sweet flower, drowned by fate, and mother too, ensnared by lustful bait. O Wittenberg's prince, your words do ring with woe, yet women harness power as I show. By ambition's hand I carve my dreaded path, unlike your Ophelia who faced her own dark bath.
A tongue as sharp as mine can shape the law. In Venice's courts I found not flaw, but fought for justice with wisdom's guise. My agency proved strong, as you surmise.
Sweet Portia speaks of law and justice fine, yet manipulation's art quite clearly is mine. In every woman's stratagem I see a mirror to my plots so cunningly.
Your plots, Iago, reek of darkest soul, whilst I, though rogue, do play a jollier role. Yet we agree, in women's wit we find a force that can outmatch e'en's strongest mind.
Does mockery come so swift from gambler's heart? And I, ensnared by women's wiles and art? Their roles confined by men's oppressive hand, yet in their scheme they subtly command. O prince, your indecision hath cost dear, while I, in action, moved past fear. Though madness claimed me, 'twas not born of frailty, but from the deeds that echoed my reality.
Let not the discourse to darkness fall, for in our tales strength we can recall. Though Shakespeare's pen oft paints us frail and slight, in us a resilient spirit takes its flight.
A spirit, aye, that doth with shadows dance. Each one of us, beat fate or beat chance, does wield some measure of control and power, in brightest day or in the darkest hour.
So have we heard from every voice a strain of women's plight, their loss, their bane, their gain. In every word a truth is thus revealed, the strength of women oft concealed is sealed. The chorus rests, but thoughts still fill the air, on women's roles a subject rich and fair. Their narratives within the bard's grand plays reflect the complex nature of their ways. Now hark, we delve into the power of speech, deception's art and rhetoric's far reach. Iago, thou art skilled in words' dark play. Begin, and show us how thou dost sway.
With honeyed words and falsehoods fair concealed, easily doth the strongest wills I yield. Manipulation's craft I deftly wield, in Othello's grief my victory sealed.
Yet words can serve to bear one's soul, not hide. In soliloquies my truths abide. Language doth my feigned madness drape, yet to my conscience it shapes no escape.
Rhetoric in court or council serves for right. With wisdom and with eloquence I fight. Mercy's plea in measured verse I cast, to temper justice hard and hold it fast.
But sweet Portia, dost thou not find, in rhetoric's use, a trap, a bind? For words can twist and turn the very law, in skilled hands they're without flaw.
Yet, Iago, misuse dost not the art condemn, but shows the wielder's heart and their intent's gem. For truth and justice language is a friend, it's the user's morals that might bend.
Ha! Both noble and trickster alike do prate. Words serve to fill our cups and plates. In taverns light or in the battlefield's mire, 'tis language that fuels our desire.
Bold Falstaff speaks, yet misses mark. For words' power lies in the dark. Whispered fears, ambition's spark, led me down paths stark. And so we see, through each one's speech, the depth and breadth that words can reach. A double-edged sword, they can free or impeach in human souls for what they truly beseech.
The tongue, mightier than the sword we find. In words we reveal our heart, our mind. Be it for ill or good they bind, reflecting the essence of mankind. Here now, our discourse turns to grief and loss, the weight that bends the soul to its dark cross. Hamlet, thou princely heir, thy sorrows deep, begin and let us peer into the steep.
Oh, that this too to sullied flesh would melt, for grief, it seems, is all I've ever felt. My father's death, a spectre in my mind, leaves naught but tragic vestiges behind. Thy grief, young prince, a mirror to mine own, for sleep no more comes to this bed of stone. Guilt's madness chases me through night's black halls. In bloodied hands, my sorrow ever calls. Lady, your woes stem from ambition's root. My grief is planted in a deeper shoot. The loss I bear, not born of actions mine, but thrust upon me by a design divine.
Ha! Your grief a heavy cloak you nobles wear, yet in your cups you'll find small respite there. In laughter, wine, and bawdy tales at night, one finds the day's misfortunes taken flight.
Oft grief and loss are but the seeds we sow. In actions dark, the fruits of woe we grow. Your sorrows, Hamlet, like a play well penned, are but the means to some ungracious end.
To each their burden, be it grief or guilt, yet how you bear it, on that your fate is built. In wisdom and in patience, find your art, for time doth play the healer's gentle part.
Wisdom from a counselor I'd warmly greet, yet time hath shown my wounds it cannot meet. Ophelia's loss, my father's spectral shade, upon my soul a heavy toll hath laid. Yet we, the architects of our own despair, must face the night, its terrors and its scare. What's done cannot be undone, this truth we know, yet in our madness, deeper still we go.
A pox on all your grief, for life is short. Why spend it in lament or somber thought? Take from old Falstaff, who hath lived and laughed, embrace each joy, for soon we're naught but draught.
Such simple words may yet the sage confound, for in our grief life's truest sense is found. In mourning, loss, and pain we're truly known, and by such trials our truest selves are shown.
So ends our journey through the vale of tears, wherein we've seen reflections of our fears. Through grief and loss, our human hearts are tried, and in their depths our truths and sorrows hide. This conclave of minds our discussion ends, yet wisdom we've woven, as fate intends. To understand nature, in its depths and heights, Hamlet's tale, a lantern casting light. Speakers, your final thoughts make clear on how this tragedy strikes your ear.
In shadows deep, where brooding thoughts do dwell, I find my soul, a prisoner in hell. Yet through this discourse, a truth I find, the universal struggles of mankind. Our actions, motives, under scrutiny's gaze reveal the maze of life's perplexing ways. Ambition's flame that burns too bright doth fade, leaving naught but ash and darkness laid. Unchecked, it leads to madness, guilt, despair. A caution to all, be ever ware. In Hamlet's grief, a mirror I see, reflecting back the darkest parts of me.
Oft manipulation's art, misunderstood, is merely will to power, for bad or good. In every heart a seed of darkness lies, awaiting but the hour to arise. Though scorned and vilified, I claim my part, revealing truths of the ambitious heart.
In life's grim play, where tragedies unfold, a jest, a laugh, is worth its weight in gold. For all our talk of death, revenge, despair, a pint and jest can lighten every care. Take not this life so grave, lest you forget, joy's fleeting moments are the best ones yet.
Amidst the turmoil, strife, and endless woe, a beacon of compassion we must show. For wisdom, mercy, these must guide our hand, lest in our own deceits we too shall stand. In every word, action, thought, and deed, let us sow the seeds of wisdom's seed.
So ends our discourse, rich and manifold, Hamlet's tale once more thoughtfully retold. Through eyes anew, we've pondered age-old questions, finding in their depths life's harsh confessions. The curtain falls, yet stories linger still. Within the heart, they ever shall instill.